Most people think when they get a verbal or a written commitment that they're at least 80% done with a sale, but in actuality, you're only 20% done. It's the managing and developing of that vision that's actually 80% of the sale. And in order to manage and develop a vision, you need to align the timing and risk tolerance after the commitment, because time, emotion, and value change immediately after you get a written or oral commitment. Therefore, in order to align the timing and risk tolerance at all times, even when the time, value, and emotion is changing, you need to create a go, no-go plan. Originally, the go, no-go plan was to get people to continually say yes. But in actuality, it does far more than that. By keeping alignment, even though the time, emotion, and value is changing, with the timing and risk tolerance. And so what we do is we put together a step-by-step plan. It could be a simple email up to a scoping that can be charged for, that allows you by date to have confirmation that you are aligned with the timing and risk tolerance. So it could be as simple as, I will call you Friday at 2 p.m., or I will send over this information, or you will sign the agreement, or we will start development, or you will review these documents or procedures, regulations, systems, whatever it may be. The second component of the go, no, go plan is that it helps us utilize the 3-no rule once again. It allows us not only to stay aligned with the timing and risk tolerance in a sale, which is essential because time, emotion, and value are always changing, but most importantly, it allows us to give permission to our counter associate that we're doing business with to communicate how they're doing, saying, thinking, feeling, and believing in the course of their timing and risk tolerance with the ever-changing time, emotion, and value that occurs after there is an agreement that is written or verbally expressed. So what we do is we implement, according to the go, no-go plan, a date for a certain action. And if that activity or action doesn't occur, we start to institute the 3-no rule, which then states 1, no, 2, second try, no, third try, no. Now we stay aligned and accelerate the sales cycle or realign the sales cycle by saying, this obviously isn't the right time. Please let me know when it is. And it allows someone, if the time, emotion, and value has changed enough where they don't want to move forward, it gives them permission to save you the time, emotion, and value of not moving forward and chasing a deal that you think is 80% done, which was only 20% done because you got a verbal or a written commitment. The importance of the go, no-go plan will allow you to be more efficient, more effective, and statistically successful, and then utilizing it as a foundational vertebrae to the go, no-go plan with the 3-no rule, we can accelerate the sale or stop wasting time chasing someone that's never going to buy. If you realize that managing and developing a vision is 80% of the sale, you will utilize the go, no-go plan in combination with the 3-no rule into effectuating making more money, helping more people, and having more fun. Some examples that I've utilized the go, no-go plan is, for example, a very simple email telling people, I'm going to call you at this time so we can make this decision in order to get to the next step at this time, in order to get to this step at this time. So it could be, I'm going to call you at 2 o'clock on Friday to confirm our systems integration start on Monday, or the review of an agreement, or it could be even payment in a go, no-go plan. We're going to go ahead and we have a verbal commitment. On Friday, we're going to discuss the agreement. And on Monday, we're going to have a written commitment. Then we're going to start implementing on Wednesday, or it could just be delivery of product. It could be training. It could be any subject matter or topic. Now, In the enterprise size of things, it could be, I used to sell scopings of go, no go plans where it'd be $50,000 in order for us to do all the necessary due diligence to figure out a multi-million dollar thing that's going on. One of the most common areas that they use go, no go plan is in real estate. As you have a checklist as a go, no go plan, that here are the type of things by this date. This is what's going to take us to the actual transference of the property. And it goes through the inspection on this date. It goes through the insurance on this date. It then goes through your funding date and finance date, 3 approvals, whatever it is. Those are the classic go, no go plans that exist in software integration, in real estate. You also see it in the medical industry. Here's your appointment schedule that we're going to do rehab in this date. There's so many different illustrations, but remember, the main purpose of all the examples of a go, no go plan is to make sure that we're aligning the timing and risk tolerance at the time of agreement, verbal or written, with the ever-changing value, emotion, and timing that it automatically changes. If we do not align the timing and risk tolerance, your statistical success will exponentially be divergent to your purpose or cause. So in summary, timing and risk tolerance aligned with the ever-changing time, emotion, and value in a sale is basically saying that you're allowing the person to communicate with you what has changed after you have a verbal or written commitment. Then the go, no go plan is basically a checklist with times and dates associated to it so that you get confirmation around the entire sale and also allow you to take a litmus test or a temperature of the sale to make sure you're not chasing something that's never going to happen. Ask any salesperson out there if they could regain all the time that they spent chasing deals that were never going to happen, even after verbal or written commitment, even sometimes after payment, you would double, triple, quadruple, or 10 times your sale if you had a system like the go, no go plan that allows you to change with that which has changed and allow people the understanding of the change and allow people to change their mind so you're not chasing something that's never going to happen. You will make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun if you use the go, no go plan and the 3 no rule associated with it. The most important strategy that I teach is the callback strategy. And the reason it's so important is because the size, scope, and scale of the total addressable community of people that are going to buy from you and sell for you is incredible. It wasn't always true. We used to be very specific in our pipeline. We used to be very specific in who our targeted demographic was, but that's not important today. What's important is to make sure that we have a community of people that are buying from us and selling for us for a lifetime. In order to do that, to start the process, to stimulate interest, we know that there's such a huge total addressable community out there. What we should be practicing is getting people to get back to us. And so the get back strategy is one that you can use in person, on the phone, via email, and especially with social media. If we can simply double the amount of people that we can get to get back to us, we will double our sales. But not only will you double your sales, you'll actually get better at sales because you'll get more at bats. You'll get more practice. And everybody knows that practice makes progress. And that progress will exponentially allow you to get better so that not only will you have more at bats, but you'll get more home runs. And in order to do so, we have to realize that there's only 2 ways that we can provide value. And that's how we get people to get back to us. Because if we can, with credibility, understand that we're here to provide value to you by either giving you something that you like or take away something or part of what you don't like, people will get back to you. And so I institute the be more interested than interesting approach. There's very few people ever that buy off a message. So millions of dollars and millions of minutes are spent selling on an answering machine or on a message. I would suggest to institute the callback strategy. Everything that I do on a message is to get someone to call me back. And the best way to do that is to provide value in one of two ways. Give them more of what they like or take away what they don't like. And so by being more interested than interesting, I call people and say, hey, I'd like to buy from you. I'm interested in learning more from you. I'm interested in who you know or how you can help me. I'm interested in solving this problem for you. I'm interested in blank. You'll be amazed how many people will get back to you when you state you are interested, not interesting. And you will find that more people will call you back and you will double, triple, quadruple your success determinative upon how many people get back to you in person, on the phone, via email and media, traditional and social media. Get people to call you back by being more interested than interesting. Tell them you're interested in buying their product. Tell them you're interested in learning about their product. Tell them you're interested in helping them get more clients. Tell them you're interested in anything. It'll be a better approach than telling them how interesting you, your brand, your product, solution, or service is. So how many times should we call someone back? Well, I have a 3-no rule, even on the callback. So if I leave a third message, I simply say, obviously, this isn't the right time because I'm interested in you calling me back and learning more about or buying more about or referring more about your doing. I then institute the 3-no rule. And on the third message, I simply say, this obviously isn't the right time. Please call me back when it is. Once again, those that are actually interested in talking to you will accelerate them calling you back. And about half of the people you'll never hear from again. But once again, saving you time, emotion, and value moreover than anything else by chasing only people that are interested in what you have to offer. One of the key components to exponentially increase the size, scope, and scale of the audience is emails or direct messaging. They both have the same exact strategy. And if we're going to put something in writing, we want to make sure that we are simple, clear, and to the point, that we are more interested than interesting. Do not give a ton of links. Do not give a ton of information. That's called transitioning interest. We're only trying to stimulate interest to then transition into a shared vision. And in order to do so, you simply and clearly have to state, hi, I'm David Meltzer, and I'm interested in buying your product. I'm interested in learning more about your product. I'm interested in bringing you more clients. Can you see any reason you won't want to get back to me? Email me back, DM me back, call me back, whatever it is. Your messages via DM and email should not be long, the same as in voice or in person. Keep it simple. Provide value in the only two ways that you can by being more interested than interesting. Give them more of what they like. Take away what they don't like. And I promise you, you will have such statistical success. You will make more money, help more people, and have more fun. So, in a rare occasion today, somebody actually answers. And what do you do now? Well, number one, the number one qualifier when someone answers is, are you dealing with an open mind? So it takes 1,000, at least the effort of 1,000 times just to re-engineer an open mind. And to do so on the telephone, for example, is almost or nearly impossible. And so the first qualification is to find that open mind by utilizing your personality of being more interested in asking them, what are you doing today? Hi, this is Dave Meltzer. What are you doing today for solar? What are you doing today? What do you know about today? Anything that you want. Or you can break the ice with humor to determine if they have an open mind and make a joke. And if they laugh at the joke, you know you have an open mind. Once you get past the hurdle of knowing you're dealing with an open mind, if you have a closed mind, just ask them, hey, this is obviously isn't the right time. Give me a time that I can call you back, and then institute the 3-no rule to determine whether they're going to have an open mind. I start to use the open-ended question template to get to the objective of, would it help you if, which then leads to the final objective, do you know anyone that can help me? Those are the two key transitions that you want to utilize in this methodology when you do get someone to talk to, whether they answer or they call you back. We then want to find the open mind and use the open-ended question template to understand what they know or what they're doing today according to the subject matter, topic, or expertise that they have, according to the product, service, or solution or brand in which you're communicating about. We want to get to the point where there's the transition of, would it help you if, or do you know anyone that could help me? When we're asking through all these questions, we're only trying to find out how we can provide more value by asking, would it help you if, and then taking it to the next level of amplification by asking, do you know anyone that can help me? This will build your community of people that will buy from you and sell for you for a lifetime. And so utilizing the open-minded, open question template in order to facilitate more value to somebody that you actually get to talk to, not only we have more people to talk to by utilizing the callback, but now statistically, you will have a bigger community of people that are buying from you and selling for you, and nothing will increase the amount of money you make, people that you help, and fun that you have than having a community of people that are buying from you and selling for you for a lifetime. The roles of selling deal with not only the timing and risk tolerance and understanding that before you start to sell, but there's two things that you need to know beforehand. Number one, perceived value. What is perceived value? Perceived value is a perception. So to understand being able to articulate the perceived value at the highest amount, it is determined upon your confidence and your comfortability in articulating the value to exceed what you're asking for. So many things are perceived value: art and luxury items, speakers and coaches. It's all perceived value. Those who are more comfortable and confident in articulating the value to exceed what they're asking for can ask for higher prices. It's not rocket science. It's simple. In order to get that comfort level and confidence, you got to practice. You got to ask for help. You got to get a mentor that'll allow you to understand perceived value and teach you how to tell the stories and teach the lessons that provide you the quantitative analysis to offer more than you're asking for. It's math. It's a simple thing. But even more important than perceived value, because sometimes perceived value is dictated by someone else. They set the retail costs. They set the wholesale price. But one thing that you got to know beforehand, beyond perceived value that's based off of your comfort level and confidence, it's bottom line. How many times do people go into a negotiation, into a sale, not knowing their bottom line? And so they start negotiating against themselves. They start to give away the power by having to ask other people after the fact. They start allowing emotion to be an indicator of how the sale should go or what the value is. People do all buy on emotion, but for logical reasons. The emotions are tied to the perceived value indicated by comfort level and confidence, but the math is done on the bottom line. The unemotional bottom line of what I'm willing to take before I walk away, and that you have to be able to walk away, and you won't be able to walk away. You will stop negotiating against yourself and being squeezed when you know your bottom line beforehand. You can gain perceived value, increase your margins by having the practice and progress of articulating the value to exceed what you're asking for, a comfort level and a confidence that can continually expand and exceed your expectations. But in the end, the math does the deal. Know the bottom line. Understand what you're willing to take before you get in there. Take emotion, the energy of emotion, out of the equation. Let math be your guide. Let emotion get the top line. Let math get your bottom line. Know within the context of your timing and risk tolerance, perceived value and bottom line, and your sales will increase exponentially. The way that you establish your perceived value is by your comfort level and confidence of articulating that value. There's nothing else. There's nothing else. A marketplace is created by illusion and perception. That's why they call it perceived value. And if you're not practicing all the time the perceived value and the articulation of that perceived value to exceed what you're asking for with confidence and comfortable indications and connotations, you're not doing anything. It's so easy to create a higher perceived value. But the bottom line is one that takes a collaborative, coordinated effort. In order to establish a bottom line, you need to know the math. You need to know all types of different variables, from cost of goods to overhead to the market itself, the supply and demand. However you determine via math the bottom line, you need to stick to it and walk away if you cannot articulate the value to exceed your bottom line. Determine upon your own instant, your own value system. You can negotiate within the context of bottom line and perceived value, but there is no negotiating below the bottom line. It's all math. So if you're working for a company, a software company, a hardware company, a product company, and you're working and selling for them, they've established the perceived value. And I would practice articulating the asking price of any product, service, solution, or anything that you're selling for someone else. But I would make sure that I communicate effectively before any opportunity to confirm the bottom line, so you can go in with the same comfort level and confidence that you have in perceived value when it comes to the bottom line. And so when we're relying on a third party, whether it's software solutions, products, or services that you're selling for someone else, an organization or an individual, you need to make sure you're effectively communicating the bottom line. Perceived value is usually indicated by the offering price, the advertised price, etc. But unlike car dealerships where it's a negotiation of, let me go to my boss, you don't need to do that. Know beforehand. You hold steady and you walk away confidently, honestly, with credibility. It's a lot easier when you're working for someone else, selling someone else's software, product, solution, or service, to know the perceived value and practice it. But even more importantly, it's even easier to know the bottom line and to adhere to it. One of the words that I used to love is I ran the most notable sports agency in the world by a guy who wrote the book on negotiation. That would be Leigh Steinberg at Leigh Steinberg Sports Entertainment. What I realized is there's no negotiation. Negotiation is not necessary if you try to achieve the ability to articulate a quantitative value to exceed what you're asking for. To me, I see it as giving, and I challenge myself to articulate what I'm giving to exceed what I'm asking for. And in order to do so, I need to have an extreme confidence and comfort level of the perceived value in which I'm articulating that value to exceed what I'm asking for. And I also have to have a unwavering bottom line. I need to know exactly where I'm going to walk away. Then there's no negotiation. It's just articulation. The better that you articulate a quantitative value to exceed what you're asking for is perceived value, and your ability to confidently, with that comfort level, articulate the bottom line. In other words, the articulation of walking away. If you can articulate the quantitative value to exceed what you're asking for and be able to confidently articulate why you're walking away, there will be no negotiation. It's just practice and math. Have the confidence, have the comfort level in order to effectuate better articulation, and you will never have to deal with negotiation. One of the simplest examples is a simple lemonade stand, which is why most entrepreneurs should start with something like a lemonade stand when they're 5 to 10 years old. And what do we do when we set up a lemonade stand? We put out a sign that's perceived value, $5 a glass. But that means nothing if we're not practicing articulating the quantitative value of that $5 by not only being credible of this is the most delicious lemonade, but also the emotional connection of, do you want to help out a 5-year-old? Do you want to help out a 10-year-old? But in the end, even in a lemonade stand, you need to know your bottom line. What if somebody doesn't have a $5 bill and all they have is $1? Well, if you don't know your bottom line, you won't know when to say no. You will lose credibility and emotional attachment. Both parties will feel bad when you buy something below their bottom line. They'll feel guilty that they ripped off the 5-year-old, and the 5-year-old will feel bad that they lost money on the deal. So know your perceived value, advertise your perceived value, articulate your perceived value, but know your bottom line. And then everyone will feel good about it because it's aligned with the timing and risk tolerance of that bottom line. Don't go below it. Know it beforehand, whether you're selling lemonade for $5 and taking $1, or whether you're selling a $5 million house and willing to take 4.8 million instead. You got to know your perceived value and bottom line at every single level. Let's start our kids out early. Let's start them out young. Let's have them practice articulating quantitative value to exceed what you're asking for with a comfort level and confidence that will lead them to making more money, helping more people, and having more fun their entire lives. When I first learned sales, I was taught the ringing towel theory, which was continue to squeeze someone until they have no more juice. Just like when you're washing a car, you have a wet rag. What do? You squeeze it, water comes out. What do you do again? You squeeze it, water comes out. And we normally keep squeezing the rag until no water comes out. And then we normally squeeze it once or two more times, which is the 3-no rule, by the way. And so instead of utilizing a ringing towel theory to squeeze someone sometimes outside of their own timing and risk tolerance, let's work within the context of articulating a quantitative value to exceed what we're asking for by knowing our comfort level and confidence in perceived value, but also knowing our bottom line. Therefore, we won't have to squeeze. We can make a decision determinative upon that spectrum that exists between bottom line and perceived value of, does that sound fair? And I promise you, if we can get an agreement of what sounds fair, both parties will walk away winners. Both parties will walk away satisfied. Both parties will walk away with more value than they were asking for. Well, within the management and development of a vision, the ultimate outcome is thriving. Thriving is when we create a community of people that are buying from us and selling for us, and that we're buying from them and selling for them as well. And so for me, I work within the context of a memorialization of how we can help each other. A simple document, email, a non-binding memorialization of how we can buy from each other and sell for each other and make more money together in a collaborative, coordinated community. And so I've created this overlap agreement that says, hey, in the overlap of my day, if I find an opportunity for you or that you find an opportunity for me, I will gladly pay you a percentage of that opportunity if I get it, and vice versa. And then I just need a system of categorization to make sure that I memorialize or remember whether it's a dentist giving me a Subway gift card, or whether it's a commission, or whether it's an opportunity that's given to me as a reward, as an overlap in opportunities by creating a collaborative community of coordinated people that are providing value to one another and know people that can provide value to one another. Imagine everybody today knows at least 1,000 people. And if we're not empowering them, incentivizing them to help us or vice versa, we are not living in a value add world. We're living in a zero-sum game. We're going to run out of opportunity instead of expanding the opportunities. That's why within the context of managing and develop a vision, we're always trying to provide more value to build and manage the expectations as time, emotion, and value, opportunities, options, and touches of favor arise. We want to raise the awareness and incentivize people to receive what they're aware of. The more you give to that community, the more you will be given. The operating agreement, the overlap agreement, allows us to be worthy of everything that we receive and receive even more without disrupting our day. We want to encourage people to simply memorialize in a non-binding way. And then you'll be asked, well, what do I give you? What do you want? Look, the more you give me, the more incentivized I'll be. And why don't you bind them by an agreement? Because the truth is, I'm building a collaborative, coordinated community of people who want to help each other and know people that can help each other. Although I'm incentivized by how much I can make by helping you, I also know that I can use it as a qualifier of your own credibility. So many people that I have an overlap agreement, they don't pay me. But that just indicates to me, protects me and promotes me that they're not the type of person I want to have in my community. It's a qualifier to me to say this person isn't the right person with the right ideas. If they're not going to live by what they promised, we don't have to exacerbate or accelerate any type of conflict or any type of competition. We simply can pray for their happiness, but we don't have to spend time with those people that bleed us. So I use it as a vetting process to memorialize an agreement where in the course of our day, we're going to overlap opportunities together and reward each other. And those people, though, don't abide by the memorialization. It's a great mechanism to vet them and let them fall away or even fire them from your life. So determinative upon who you have an overlap agreement with, if, for example, you need to be a broker dealer or a fiduciary or licensed in some way in insurance to receive some sort of commission, that doesn't mean that you can't reward each other. And so an overlap agreement may not be indicative of the exact commission-based thing. It could be a simple opportunity or option-based reward. And so when we're dealing with people to overlap, to build a coordinated community together, people who want to help each other and know people that can help each other, we want to make sure that we are working and aligned with how they can reward us. And so part of what we do with the overlap agreement is create more options, opportunities, and touches of favor. It may not be a percentage or commission to incentivize us. It could be babysitting. It could be opportunities of speaking or coaching or sponsorship. There's a variety of ways that we can reward, but it doesn't happen if you're not utilizing the open-minded, open question template in order to facilitate would it help you if, and do you know anyone that can help me? When you're working within the guise of the 5 to thrive, to stimulate interest, transition interest, share a vision, manage and develop a vision, and to eventually thrive by having a coordinated community of people that want to help each other and know people that can help each other, you reduce, dissolve, and dissipate all the self-propagated interference that occurs when we utilize scarcity instead of abundance. When you truly believe there's more than enough of everything for everyone, when you live within the context of a value-add system, when you have a sole purpose of providing more value and receiving more value, I promise you, you will live in the infinite loop of more than enough of everything for everyone. Don't make it complicated. Let's all build a community of people that simply want to help each other and know people that can help each other. Let's memorialize that, and let's also attract the right people and the right ideas and build the right community so that people will buy from you and sell for you for life. When I talk about an overlap agreement, I'm talking about referrals. So if you work with a company, a software solution or product, and you want referrals, that's an overlap agreement. So you're incentivizing people to make referrals. So if you're selling solar and you want the neighbors, or you're selling a software and you want them to refer other businesses that are like your business, you're aggregating the community of like people with like minds and like needs and like community members. It's an overlap agreement that's a referral agreement. And so you can incentivize people in any way that you want by finding out what they want, by finding out what they like and what they don't like. And that's what people do when they send you a gift card for referring a dentist appointment or a new client. An overlap agreement isn't a formalized binding agreement. It's simply an email. It's simply a verbal statement memorializing, hey, if you help me, this is how I can help you. Remember, the whole guise is to build a community of people that want to help each other and know people that can help each other. So when you think of a referral agreement, think more in the context of the infinite loop, the abundant unified system that will provide you more people in your community and in theirs.